Joining me on the set today is Gene Borzendowski. Welcome, Gene, and tell me a little bit about what you're going to cover in your topic, social media.
Yeah, thank you. So there's no denying that social media is a huge part of our daily lives now, but what a lot of people don't realize is that it can drastically impact your job search. So we're going to hopefully teach some people some do's and don'ts using social media in their job search. Hopefully some helpful tips on how they can use social media to find and retain employment and also expand their network.
Good. So Gene, are you going to use just yourself doing the training, or are you going to use technology or some other things to help enhance that training experience?
Yeah, so we've got some great YouTube clips, a couple of different ways of, one, how social media helped someone get a job, and kind of the inverse, how social media prevented someone from getting a job. So a lot of good takeaways from those clips. We're also going to introduce them to a lot of apps and great social media platforms out there that can help them during their job search and building their network.
Well, let's go to the classroom and take a look at your topic, social media.
Welcome to today's lesson. Today we're going to discuss social media, the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's no denying that social media can have a positive and negative impact on all of our lives, especially as it relates to our employment and job search. This presentation outlines best practices and behaviors while using social media sites. It provides an overview of how photographs, language, and other items can become an online personal resume that can present a positive or negative impression on potential employers. We hope that you'll come away with a few things today. We hope that you'll be able to establish the do's and don'ts of social media, and also be able to provide ways in which social media can be helpful to achieve you in gaining employment. Here are some reasons employers disregard candidates after screening their social media accounts. And that does happen. So be cognizant that employers, as soon as you submit an application, are already beginning to search you in your social media accounts. That includes Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and also your LinkedIn. So some things that employers are looking for. Provocative or inappropriate photos or information. Content about candidate drinking or drug use. Bad-mouthing a previous employer, coworker, or clients. Evidence of poor communication, using obscene language or vulgarities. Gestures. Discriminating comments, or if you've lied about your qualifications. So be mindful of all those things on your social media accounts. Now a few brief statistics. 14% of employers have disregarded a candidate because they sent a message that included a smiley face. So always be aware of sending emojis, images, things like that when you're communicating. You always want to keep that communication professional. 16% of employers dismissed a candidate for using text language in an email or job application. It's very easy now to use text message lingo in all of your communication, but you need to remember in emails and any correspondence that is with an employer to keep that professional and don't use that text lingo or jargon that you might be accustomed to. 70% of U.S. business managers said they decided not to hire a candidate based on information they found online. That's a large percentage, so you really want to make sure that if you do have a social media presence, and you should have a social media presence, but make sure that it's clean and professional. 1 in 10 young adults have been rejected from a job because of the content found on their social media profile. Again, that's 10%, so just please, be mindful of your accounts and what's out there. Once you put information out there on social media, you can delete it, but it usually will be there to stay. Here's some things you can do as it relates to your social media. Do create an online presence. It's important to have an online presence to showcase your skills and experience. Be consistent. Does the employer history on your resume match what's on your Facebook page, if it's public, or also your LinkedIn page? Google your name and check what's online. What shows up when you search your name? Most likely there's a ton of information from tweets to photos. You want to make sure that all that is professional and wouldn't give the employer a negative image of you. Network before you need to. Build your resume well in advance and your network well in advance of when you need it. Make connections in your industry and career field. Follow career experts. Be engaged and proactive in your communication. Now we're going to mention some things you don't want to do on your social media accounts when job searching. Do not mention your job search if you are still employed. You don't want your employer to know that you're actively pursuing any other jobs or opportunities. Do not include a link on your resume to any site which includes content that's not appropriate for business. Do not list your blog on your resume unless it's relevant to the career field or position you're interviewing for. Now we're going to pause for a short YouTube video on how social media can negatively impact your job search. Hope that video helped. Now we're going to show you how social media can help. What you want to do on social media is present a wide range of interests. 40% of 2,000 HR managers surveyed said they selected candidates who seemed well-rounded on their profiles and social media updates. So it's important to be diverse and well-rounded. Project a professional image. 38% of employers were impressed with the professional image presented by a candidate's site. Use a high-quality photo, preferably a headshot, with a natural background. Wear appropriate clothing, no prom or beach photos, and be sure to spell and grammar check prior to putting anything out there. Now we're going to show you a brief video on how social media can help you get a job. Here are a few more examples of how social media can help. Display your awards and acknowledgments. 31% of employers found proof of such recognition online and said it worked in the candidate's favor. Interact with potential employers. Companies with social media accounts want to engage in conversation. 24% of employers in last year's survey said they like it when a candidate interacts with their social media account. But remember, when interacting with the account, make sure it's positive. You always want to keep it positive and professional. Although you might have a complaint, you always want to keep it positive and professional. We hope that this workshop on social media was helpful. A few takeaways: just remember, have a social media presence, but make sure it's professional and be very careful of the content, images, and photos you put out there, because once they're out there, you can't take them back.
To gain more skills related to your job search and career pathway, or to find a workforce program near you, please visit Eckerd Connects at this website.